then we'll hop into the messenger bot stuff. But again, this is in the members area, that last thing I mentioned. And I'll just remind you guys, all the content, if you go to the dashboard at the top here, we have lots of different sections. And I do believe that the content we're going to cover today about how to build messenger bots, there's some light versions of this also already existing, I think, in the chat box section. So Ernest does have a few tutorials in here, how to build an easy chat bot, how to run Facebook Ads Core Messenger Bot, and I'm not sure what this recording webinar thing is. Let me look. And then using Facebook comments or Core Messenger Bot. So Dennis says he went to the Nosy Neighbor briefing, very expensive. Any thoughts? Well, I've seen early on, I was involved a little bit in the development of that. And it's kind of an evolution of an older product we had with Conversion. And my thoughts are that I have seen a number of people early on have really good success. I've seen some of the testimonials and the results. I've also seen some people hop into Nosy Neighbor, spend I think it's 700 or so, 749 a month. Don't quote me on that. Get going, expect to have a listing by the end of the first month. And that is not the way to go with any of this stuff. Nosy is designed to more or less be a longer term brand building, a way to build your brand, get you better presence in a farm, and does some other really cool things that can get you instant gratification and instant results. But so far I think we're about 4 months into the product, maybe 3 or 4 months, seeing people with great results, seeing some people want to cancel because they didn't get a lead, they didn't get results right away. So my thoughts are, if you can afford the $749 easily and it's not a big deal, and you commit to 6 months to a year before you start really seeing an ROI, then I recommend it. It does a lot of cool stuff. If you don't have that kind of budget, then follow some of the stuff we talk about here to emulate a lot of what Nosy's doing. Now, Nosy, there is a really cool app with Nosy that we're not showing you how to, you're probably not going to go code your own app. I wouldn't know how to do that in a million years. But if you want to run, pay-per-click marketing campaigns and send postcards and do all that stuff that Nosy's doing, you can kind of piece that together at a lower budget. The thing with some of these pre-canned systems, though, the reason we do them is because it packages it all together, saves you a lot of time. And in this case, there is some software, an app attached. So that's my plug for it. I would just say, don't sweat it if you can't, if you don't want to swing the 749, then just focus on generating lots of buyer leads into your KV core, following the growth system methodology that we show. You're going to get homeowners into your database and then retarget them and send them cool content. You can build your brand in the same way by following that system. So, yeah, part of the expense there too is the fact that there's digital advertising going on. There's also there's physical mail going on too. So there's postage and stuff built in. But yep, that's my thoughts. Hey, what's up, Ernest?
Hey, what's going on, Ryan?
I didn't realize I wasn't on camera. I'll get back on camera since you got on camera.
You gotta put yourself on camera. Video sells nowadays, right?
What's that?
I said it's all about video.
Yeah. So in case everybody doesn't know, Ernest is you're currently a product manager, right? You were a coach with us for a long time.
Right. Yeah. So as a coach, and then rolled over to a product manager to manage Core Messenger Bot and a couple others.
Yeah. So one of the primary things Ernest kind of you created it, is the Core Messenger Bot service that you can find under Core Add-ons. Where's that thing at?
Be under Leads.
It's under Leads. And I'm going to kind of let you take over, Ernest, but I'll just kind of mention that people can see an example of the Messenger Bot on josephmacy.com, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just did some updates to it, which are awesome. And I want to show you guys some of these updates. Ryan will see it now. So once you click on that, you should get a message here in a second. But I'm now incorporating Core Video into Core Messenger Bot. So if you're a Core Video subscriber, there's going to be that Core Video that comes into your greeting chat. It should be there here in a split second. I'm having some issues right now with just getting it to be instant, but we'll get it. But you'll get that. Yeah, you'll get that sweet little video right there that you can embed into your greeting chat. Pretty simple for us to do when we set up your Core Messenger Bot subscription, which is really, really awesome. So idea behind this is you could embed or install like a video instructional walkthrough of your website if you want to. You can have it just as a personal greeting. Totally up to you and how creative you get with what video goes on this actual spot of your greeting for Core Messenger Bots. So pretty cool little idea that we've had with this now.
Awesome. Yeah. And I thought it would be cool. We've got the product. So that's the kind of done for you, works really good. But I love on these next level sessions just showing people some of the behind the scenes, how to build it themselves if they want, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you want to take the screen maybe and poke around?
Yeah, let me share my screen. Let me override you right now.
Yeah, I'll just hit stop share.
And then you should be able to see my screen. You can see that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I want to just dive into really kind of some behind the scenes. What is, a chatbot? How do chatbots work? How do I build them? We have this kind of glorified, built out, really intricate core messenger bot that you can purchase, and it's a done for you setup integrated in the KV core. So we've already taken all those necessary steps to make sure that once you sign up, you don't have to actually do any finger lifting from that point. But there are some of you out there that might, be open-minded to try and create your own. There are some ideas around that as far as like, what do I do? Where do I go? And you might know what you actually want to message people or message visitors to your website with, right? So there are some platforms out there. Of course, there's like ManyChat. There's also one called Landbot.io if you haven't seen this one yet or not. But some of these services are very intuitive in getting you the ability to create kind of your own chat bot, right? The first step is to subscribe to one of them. You can go to their pricing page and get their pricing for their chat bot itself. But the idea is that you need a host in order to create this chat bot. The easiest one I found and able to use is ManyChat. This is a really good tool if you're wanting to create like your own simple flow or create your own simple chat bot. So once you subscribe to ManyChat, there are a couple options you're going to have here. One, you can create it as a growth tool, or two, under automation, you can create it as a flow. The main difference between the two is a growth tool, you'll be able to actually go through, and when you click on create a new tool, you'll actually see all these overlay widgets that you can utilize. Now, when you create a flow, it's a little bit different because if you have multiple business pages, you can copy and paste or share that flow to other pages. As opposed to a growth tool, you're just installing it onto that one page.
So just to step back, there's the main messenger bot, which allows people, we didn't really explain it, but allows people to talk to you directly on Facebook. But there's these other kind of overlays that you can put on your website with ManyChat. That's what those tools are. Yeah.
Right. So like our header bar up here, the little chat widget in the bottom right corner. That automatically pops up. These are what are called our growth tools, right? So these are items that you'd be able to go into like ManyChat and create a new growth tool. So for example, the one at the top is a bar. You could also have like the customer chat right here, which is the one that's installed in the bottom right corner. It's similar to that. So you'll be able to actually use that to have that little chat widget. Now, the idea behind this is that it's engagement, but it's also a lead generation tool. You're building a Facebook audience, and this is kind of where a lot of subscribers to Core Messenger Bot are still kind of getting their feet wet and kind of diving in, is that they realize that there's another channel for follow-up. And that's the idea behind these messenger bots. It's not necessarily to say, hey, it's going to qualify a lead for you all the way to the end and say this person's ready to buy. It's more so for you to not only get those, but to also be able to interact with your leads. We all know like texting and phone calls and email and stuff like that are not a dying breed, but they're becoming more and more obsolete as there's newer technologies coming out. I've heard of agents using WhatsApp. I've heard of agents using external apps to message, which kind of alleviates the whole regular text, regular phone, regular email. And with messenger bots, it just gives you that additional source of follow-up. So say somebody's not responding to your phone calls or your text messages, but they came to you through Facebook or they came through Core Messenger Bot. You could open up your Facebook business page's messenger, and at any point in time, you can message that person privately from your actual business page. So you're building out this audience that you can then go and engage with through Facebook, right? And that's the whole idea behind it. You can vet them if you want. They're a real person. It's not a scam, things like that. And it's just a better follow-up concept when it comes to lead conversion. Now, any questions out there before we kind of start diving headfirst into this? Because we've got about an hour, but any questions about any of that before I start diving into how do I build one of these bad boys?
I don't see any questions, Ernest. And you don't have to build the full thing out. But yeah, just the basics, I think people might appreciate. I'm not getting any feedback yet, but
yeah. So if you're wanting to just put like a simple chat, something that's going to pop up like this, That's going to be known as what we call as the customer chat here. So when we click on customer chat, it's going to take me to this kind of growth tool where I can give this a name. So I can say something like website chat, right? Because that's the name of my chat. And then from there, before you do any of this, I always like to build out my actual bot. So over here off to the right, we could see all these dialog boxes that say, okay, customer chat, first step, right? It's going to send an opt-in message. Now, the opt-in message is your most important message. Your opt-in message is what's going to get the lead or the viewer to engage with your messenger bot, right? So basically, we want this to be capturing. So what we've seen and what we've done, even with ours, is ask questions like, hey, and then you have variables that you can pull from. A variable being like the lead's first name if they've logged in with their own personal Facebook. You could do their full name. You can just say their last name, totally up to you. But the concept behind this is that we want them to engage with this first opt-in message. And that's why we always lead when we're thinking about adding things onto like bots and we're thinking about lead conversion. One of the first texts and emails that we even send out and have as a default text or default email is, are you looking to buy or sell a home, right? Are you looking to buy or sell a property? And the idea behind this is that we need their permission. So the opt-in message is kind of that first message that's going to go out. And once they click on something or reply to this message, that's going to opt them in as a subscriber to your messenger bot. All right. So are you looking to buy or sell property? We can then add buttons to this. So I can say yes, I can say no. And again, this is kind of where the intricacy becomes more in depth with Core Messenger Bot is now we're going to start building separate directions, right? So if somebody replies yes, right, my next question would be like, are you, is trying to think here, what are you looking to do, right? Are you looking to do? And then you can say like buy, and then your second button can say sell. And then once we do that, we then can make another branch off of this and we can go and say, okay, I want another Facebook message. My next message is, where are you looking to buy? Right. And then if you're a pro subscription to this, I would actually, instead of using a button, you can delete the button and actually use what's called as user input. This gives the user the ability to go ahead and basically just type their own response. So, hey, I'm looking to buy in Fort Lauderdale, or I'm looking to buy in Miami. And then you can say, once they reply, my next action would be like, have an action. So you can subscribe them to a sequence. There's a lot of things that you can do. And this is all the intricacy that's built into Core Messenger Bot. But the idea is that you got to continue to go through these steps and say, okay, what's my next message when they reply, right? And that's for a buyer.
You mentioned pro. That's many chats. Was that 10 a month or something?
I believe it's 10 a month for up to 500 subscribers, and then it goes on from there.
That's included if you use our bot, right? They don't have to pay the extra. So.
Correct. And with Core Messenger Bot, kind of the behind the scenes here is that there's a lot of API built into it. Right. API meaning like, hey, we built and we worked with ManyChat's Swagger team to basically say, hey, we need to have all this data transferred over. We got together and we built that out so that all of these are stored. They have a database that they go to, and then it's all brought into KV Core.
Yeah, you're getting a really tight integration with any conversations that happen.
Right, because as an agent, I mean, if you wanted to, if you're tech savvy enough to do it, you could probably accomplish it. It's just a lot of tedious work, a lot of API calls, and it gets pretty extensive with making sure everything's correct because it does require some C++ and knowing of coding to get that information over. But this is a simple step process that you can do. This is pretty simple. Again, I built the buy side, so now I could also go here and do the sell side. I can say Facebook message, and then my next message would be like, what is your address? Right, and we can, again, use user input if we want to here so that they can type in their full address, and then we would capture that full address. You have the option again here with actions, so I can go ahead and say actions. My action might be to add a tag, and my tag might be like seller lead, right? Now, none of this data, again, none of this is transferred over if you're building this on your own, because it has to be integrated to KV Core in a special way, all of which is done in Core Messenger Bot. But we're kind of giving you some ideas on simple things that you can do. Because if you're not opposed to it and you want to give this a shot and see how Messenger Bots work for yourself, these are just like a simple flow that you could build or a simple growth tool that you can install onto your website, right? Once this is all done and I have everything to the way I like it, I'll go ahead and even up here, I can go ahead and say actions. Since this is my buyer side, I'm going to add a tag of, let's just say buyer. We can go ahead and do that. And now my website chat is done, right? So I can go ahead and hit publish. It'll store it. It's not going to let me do it because I need to upgrade the Pro in order to get the actions and the tags and the user input. But once that's all done and you publish this, the next step is to go ahead and install it to your website. So you got to come to the customer chat. You got to go to install JavaScript. You would type in your website address here, and then you would grab this script and take it over to like your KV Core and embed it there. That's how
you put it in the header section in the website settings, right?
Correct. And again, that's not necessarily the full integration. So everything that's captured through this Messenger bot is going to live within ManyChat or within your Facebook business page. So all of your follow-up will still be within ManyChat or within Facebook. And of course, it would be more of a manual process to say, okay, I got this person's name and phone number. I need to actually manually go and add that to my KV Core account. But everything will live within the audience section. So as you get contacts, all of those will appear here. You can go in here and live chat with any of them. You can go and sync or go and filter based off of tags. So if I just want to see my buyers or just want to see my sellers, you would actually be able to do that. So to embed the code, you just go into your header section. Give me 2 seconds. Let me see if mine's open so I can show you exactly where to go. So in your Web and IDX settings under website content, if you go over to the edit settings or manage my website settings right here, down here in this section, you're going to have a custom chat section. That's where you'll place basically that script. All right. And then that'll have it appear exactly like this. Again, but embedding it on the website like that doesn't necessarily give you the integration. So everything still lives on an external platform outside of KV Core. You would have to actually bring those leads into it yourself. So you would manually add those.
Yeah, so the advantage is you're chatting with somebody on Facebook and you can talk to them directly on Facebook. You could now ManyChat does link up with things like Zapier, but it gets a little involved, right? Ernest, you've spent a lot of time.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge fan of the Zapier because it's not very flexible. So they have to get to like an endpoint if you use Zapier. Meaning that they have to go through the entire flow in order for it to transfer the data that it's captured. With Core Messenger Bot, we have some variables or events set that basically say anytime after 20 minutes, if somebody hasn't interacted, send this information that we've already captured or what we've captured over to KV Core. So it's still
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's still creating the contact. It's still bringing them over. They just might not have gotten to like input, like I'm looking for 2 bedrooms or any additional notes. But we captured their email. We captured their full name already. We're going to send that information over to KV Core so that you can follow up with them.
Cool. Yeah. And so some other uses. So having this on your site so that your existing leads and traffic can interact with you. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of the results you're seeing? Because I've seen some of the stats, and it sounds to me like anybody with existing traffic, this is working instantly.
Yeah, we're getting engagement. So some of our top users, and I wish I had some screenshots of it, but some of the top users are getting anywhere from 200 to 300 chats a month, roughly right around there, and converting at almost 10%. So this guy right here, you're going to get some analytics, and I might be able to show you just our Messenger bot analytics for just driving traffic to our demo page. So you can kind of get an idea of what that looks like. But the concept there is that you're going to have something called impressions and you're going to have something called opt-ins, right? And your opt-ins are basically people who've taken that second step on your flow and opted in and subscribed to your actual Messenger bot.
So in the scheme of our growth systems that we talk about here at Next Level, this is it can generate the lead, but I view it more as a conversion tool. Because if somebody's coming back and clicking on your property alerts over and over again, right? They from KV4, and then they get there, and then they can interact with you directly through the bot. That seems to be what's happening with existing users.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what's happening is, like, let's say agents are sending out search alerts. The search alert goes out, the lead gets on the website, and then they message the agent directly through the actual messenger bot itself, which is exactly what we need, right? Because it has a human element takeover, which just means that, let's say that question comes in and Core Messenger Bot doesn't know how to handle it. There's a human element, which means that you as the agent can always go in there and carry on that live conversation with somebody that's on your website. And that's the really, really cool thing about it, Ryan, is that let's say somebody was looking at like a property on your website and they had questions about it, right? This chat option right here gives them the ability to directly message you and say, hey, I have a question about this 275 West 10th Street in New York. It shows $20 million, but I only have 18 million. You think we can write an offer for that, right? So it gives you kind of this security in knowing that they can live chat with you back and forth instead of maybe having to close that browser or close that window, go and text you or even call you. So it gives you kind of really this good follow-up option.
And you get more information about them as soon as they do that, because you can go look at their profile.
Exactly. So if I were to go ahead and click here, continue as Ernest, what Ryan's mentioning is that it's going to subscribe me to that opt-in with my Facebook profile.
Yeah.
Now, I've run some split A/B testing with this and done continue as myself and continue as guests. Both are really good options. The main thing with continue as guest is some people might not be logged into their Facebook. So instead of it like sending them to Facebook and say, hey, log in before you continue, the continue as guest option will be good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had my dogs barge in. Give me 2 seconds.
Perfect. Probably barking at my dogs. All right. Very cool. Yeah. So any questions? I don't see any questions coming in, but I think it's good to get context on how this is built. ManyChat's pretty user-friendly, but it's also pretty not user-friendly when it turns not user-friendly.
Well, and the idea too, Ryan, is that like if you're a big social media influencer and you get all of these chats, you're going to want all those chats in your KV Core, right? You're going to want all those contact subscribers in your KV Core. And that's where Core Messenger Bot really kind of excels expectations, is that it's capturing those conversations and generating you leads inside of KV Core so that you can manage them all from kind of one central repository.
Yeah, the coolest thing it does to me that kind of was the wow factor was when somebody puts their criteria in, both for the sellers and buyers, but I know when they put their buyer criteria in, it actually puts it into the property interest field and creates an alert, doesn't it?
Yeah, so what happens here is with Core Messenger Bot, when you continue as a guest, when you continue as a guest, it'll basically walk you down this pathway or this journey, as I like to call them, a journey of like, if I'm a buyer, what kind of questions are the agent going to be asking? Like, hey, how many bedrooms is your next house going to have? How many bathrooms do you think you want? You know, do you have any additional requests like waterfront property, water view? You know, do you want to be out in the country? Where do you want to be, or what do you want out of your next property? Right. So here in a second, once this triggers, I'll go ahead and click buy, and I'm going to show you how our system actually brings the data over. You guys, by all means, you can build one of these on your own. The integration point is kind of the idea of Core Messenger Bot. So if you have a lot of chats or you know you're going to get a lot of message, Core Messenger Bot's definitely going to be for you. But if you just want to try this out and build your own simple kind of flow and get interactions going, this is kind of the idea that you would use, right? So basically we'd say buy. What's a good email? I like to capture the email address up front. So I'm going to go ahead and use my test email right here inside enriquez@insiderealestate.com. All right, so we'll put my email in here. And then are you pre-approved? It's going to ask me some questions here. I'll say yes. Would I like some search alerts? Yes. And then it's going to give me a list of areas that this website actually services, right? So basically it services Nyack. So I'm going to say Nyack. And what price point? I'm going to go ahead and type in 450 million. Now, if somebody were to put like $450 like this, you can see how we have a fail-safe here, right? It should have a fail-safe technically. But there's a fail-safe built in the Core Messenger Bot that actually will say, please enter a valid number. I'm going to go ahead and hit 3 months. And then bedrooms, I'm going to go do 4. Bathrooms, I'm going to do 3. And then it's going to ask me if there's any additional notes. So I am just starting my search. Starting my search. We need to be pre-approved. Need to be pre-approved. And this gives the buyer kind of the option to vent, right? Buyers like to talk about themselves. They like to tell you what they want. So is there anything else we should know about your home search? You know, let it all out. You want a pool, you want this, you want that.
And that'll go into a note, I assume?
Yeah, that goes into a note. It'll also send a dynamic link back to them with the results based off of their input. So this might not actually find anything because I put $450. So this will stay blank. But had I put like $1 million or something, we would have a ton of search results right here that they can start going through. Now, what it's done for me, though, is it's actually captured that information from that chat into my KV Core account. So if I go ahead and refresh my browser here, I should have all that data and that information plugged into my account. All right, so here we go. We have the guest that was created because they continued as guests. We have the email address. We've also added a hashtag of the location of where they're looking to purchase, hashtag of Core Messenger buyer bot, so that you could easily filter. It also has this Core Messenger bot details down at the bottom that says lead is looking for a 4-bed, 3-bathroom home in Nyack for around $450. Additional notes, just starting my search, we need to be pre-approved.
It'd be cool if we could auto pin that.
Yeah, that would be that's actually kind of another feature that we're
yeah. So what I just mentioned, guys, is see how Ernest pinned it, and now it shows up at the top, all their criteria. Anytime you go to the lead, you can see it right away.
Yeah. But in the profile details, we can go into here. It should have a summary, right? Home preferences, Nyack, $450. And also on the main page, it generates this summary right here for you so you can see exactly what they're looking for. Now, the cool thing about this is when you get that new lead phone call, since we are generating that summary, it's going to give you those details. So when you get a new lead phone call, it's not just going to say you have a new lead looking for a property blank for $0, 0-bed. It's going to give you the actual details about that user, right? So pretty cool concept there. But guys, that's kind of the idea behind Core Messenger Bot, everything we've built into it. Now you can like leverage Core Video and, you know, send them a video, email, video, text, whatever it might be. The other really cool thing that I was messing around with today as well is in ManyChat, if you're in here, you could actually go to like your audience, and I'll show you this audience right here that we have, but I can click on like a, you know, a profile or a conversation. So let's go to live chats, and then I can basically drop a video in here if I want, right? So I can go here, and then I could open up like a video. Let me go to downloads, get a quick video. Let's see here, quick video. And I can send that via Facebook to that contact. So if you're a Core Video subscriber, here's another plug. You could actually go and download your Core videos that you've recorded, and you can fire those off to these people. I can say, hey, Loretta, I noticed you tested Core Messenger Bot. Did you have any questions about it? You know, I run it, I manage it, and so forth. So just a kind of a cool follow-up practice as an agent. A lot of people want to put a face to a name, and this is where you can kind of really make that a game changer for yourself.
So a few questions. So one question was the bottom line is just sign up for Core Messenger Bot. Maybe if you want to, we wanted to show the how-to. There is a lot of value in Core Messenger Bot if you're sold on this at all. I guess the only caution I had, Ernest, is that if you don't have a lot of site traffic yet, don't expect a lot of, I would make sure that you invest in having a lot of traffic flowing through your site first. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's where if you want to test this out, you're like, hey, I don't have a ton of traffic going to my website, but I want to see how easy it is to build one of these and maybe capture like the 1 or 2 leads a week that might actually engage with it. That's where you can always come in, create your own account, and kind of build your own simple step-by-step or own simple flow or growth tool for your own like your own website.
Yeah, but if you have any kind of flow at all, then it starts to make more sense and ROIs. Basically, I don't know what the cutoff would be, Ernest, but if you know you're generating 50 uniques a day, it's kind of a no-brainer, I would assume, right?
Exactly. Yeah, if you're getting to the point where you're spending more time adding leads to KV Core than you are like having time to follow up or show homes and run listing appointments, you need Core Messenger Bot for you. That or like you mentioned, you can go ahead and use Zapier. I will tell you, you have to, the build out's a lot more in depth. It's not just like, okay, hey, send this message, because each message you have to store as a variable. And once it's stored as a variable, you got to name it. And then you have to make calls to that variable to have it sent over to where you want it to go to on the endpoint. But you can have as many growth tools as you want. I showed you the website chat. I can create a new growth tool that has a bar drop down. So maybe I'm not interested in the messenger, right? Maybe part of it. Maybe I just want to have an action on the top of my website, similar to what we have on our demo website, where it says, find out, what a buyer might pay for your home. You can, go ahead and build this, drop down, and you can make it unique to specifically buyers or specifically sellers. Totally up to you and how you want to kind of tailor that message. The other really cool one that I like that I'm playing around with as well for Core Messenger Bot is the kind of the pop-up modal.
Takeover.
The takeover is kind of coming, right? So this overlay gives you this big overlay page. It's like having your own landing pages pop up on your website. So it's pretty neat in that aspect, being that you have this kind of takeover right here that happens on your website, right? And these are all things that you can build out pretty simple. The only thing that's not as simple is kind of trying to replicate what Core Messenger Bot's done in all the messages, all the variables and everything like that. But if you just want a simple like 1, 2, 3 punch, you can go ahead and have those three responses set up so that when somebody subscribes to it, it sends them like, hey, thanks for subscribing. An agent will follow up with you here shortly.
Yeah, for $10, that's pretty good value now that I think about it, because you're to go get a Hello Bar account and some of the other things that do these page takeovers is a lot more than that. So
yeah, the other really cool one that I really, really like on ManyChat is the there's a text option on here. It's the SMS modal, right? I don't have a channel on this demo page, but it's exactly what the overlay widget is. It just captures their phone number. And then you can send them text messages. So my growth tool, instead of being Facebook messages, so if I go back to, let's go to the website chat, I can show you this probably a little bit better. But on here, instead of like my next step being a Facebook message, you can see how you can do SMS, you can do email. Now, these numbers aren't as customizable because you're going to use whatever number ManyChat assigns to you. That's where our team and myself are working to optimize Core Messenger Bot, because we're going to try and plug SMS through the actual smart number. So that's kind of an idea that we're going down.
Wow.
So at that point, then it might even run via text message instead of just on Facebook. So there's a lot coming down the pipe that we're working on and designing and kind of concepting and drawing out to see if we can make it work. You could even see Instagram messaging is available as well. We have Core Messenger Bot available in beta for any user that signs up to it with over 10K followers on their IG page. So you're automatically getting that to be part of our beta testing, and let us know exactly how it works for you. But
awesome. We had a question here, and it leads into something else that I was going to ask you about. Yeah, the question is it good to lead all new leads into the Messenger Bot to start? I think anybody who shows up on the page will see the bot, right?
Yeah, anybody who goes to your website is going to see the Messenger Bot, right? So that's the idea behind it.
But the question is, I think you've tried this. Are people driving traffic directly to the bot from Google or Facebook? What kind of results have you seen from that?
Yeah, I actually just did a video on it. I personally just sold my home here in Washington. So I had all of 122 subscriptions via Core Messenger Bot running a single property ad to Facebook messages.
Okay.
So
you were doing like a property boost, but the call to action was a Facebook message.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So pretty little concept that you can do. I'm trying to work with our team on the Facebook ads side to see if maybe this is something we offer for buyer leads and seller leads.
Yeah.
Because we can, with the way we've built Core Messenger Bot, we can take them in 2 different paths, right? Whether they're a seller or a buyer, we have 2 separate journeys that we can direct them to via a keyword. So someone, messages your Facebook page and says, I'm looking to sell my house. It'll take them kind of down that seller path. Somebody messages you, says, hey, I'm looking to buy a house. It takes them down the actual buyer path and totally bypasses the first that first message.
One thing I've been wanting to try, Heather Bowden with Virtual Realty Assist a couple of weeks ago mentioned that she drives her Facebook ad customers. She drives them into a bot after they fill out a Facebook lead form.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is really intriguing because you've already got the contact info.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that could actually solve the problem with how Facebook is blocking the ability to collect addresses on the seller lead front.
Right. Well, and with Core Messenger Bot, we have that address capture already.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I went down the buyer journey, but let's go down the seller journey so that they could see it.
Yeah.
We have that address capture option. So the concept would be like, want to know what your home's worth in this crazy real estate market where everybody's home selling for over $50,000 and, over asking price, click message below, and you could shoot them directly into the seller portion of Core Messenger.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I mean, we had 3 offers on our personal house, well over asking, and it was people fighting in our front yard. So.
You headed to Texas or Florida?
We're going to Texas. I'd come be your neighbor, but man, Texas is calling me.
Hey, but get rid of that state tax. It's all good.
Yeah. So, but let's show them the seller option here. I have a delay here for 20 seconds, so they'll watch the video on our demo page. The delay on yours won't be nearly as long unless you want it to be. But if I go ahead and click get my home value here, you'll see that it's now going to take me down the seller journey. So it's asking for my address, and I don't want any spam for anybody out there. I love the postcards. I love brownies. So if you want to send me some send out cards or send out gifts, whatever it might be, I appreciate it. But we'll do this, and we'll just kind of show you exactly how it's going to work. So here we go. And then on the seller portion, you'll notice with the buyer side, we don't actually ask for the phone number. I've noticed that asking buyers for phone number kind of turns them off a little bit more.
That's really interesting.
Than sellers. So sellers are more willingly like putting their phone numbers into these fields than a buyer is, because the seller wants to know what their home is worth.
You are much more likely to get my attention through a Facebook message than by trying to call me.
Yeah.
I think that's the case for most people. So the number becomes useless. You've already you're in a chat with him on Facebook anyway.
Yeah. Second bath. What else did we do to our house? New furnace and AC, right? And I just want to show you how this works.
Yeah.
So you get an idea. So furnace and AC, irrigated garden, corner lot. All right, so I'll put that in. And then it's going to ask for their information. So I've already captured all their details about their property, and that was kind of our goal. So now it's going to ask me for their email address. Because again, with our event-based action, say somebody stops here, in 20 minutes, it's still going to send that agent that lead's full entire address so that the agent can start using things like snail mail, right? Thanks.io. They can start, using some of these other follow-up practices if they stop at this point. But I'm just going to go ahead and put a random email address into here. And then it's also going to ask for my phone number. So we'll do my Texas number. And that might be too many digits, but you see how it pulls in all my information about my current property: garage attached, 4-bed, 3-bath, 1922, built in 2005, central forced air. Does this look correct? Yes, it does. And then it's going to go ahead and deliver me a value directly through Core Messenger Bot. So you can see how it has my value. We'll send you a home value report within the next 3 business days. Now, on the flip side of this, inside of KV Core, it's creating that contact for a seller lead. So if you have any new lead seller campaigns designed to take off, those will start following up with that lead. We also bring them in with the hashtag of the location of their property, Core Messenger Bot seller. And then we even give you as the agent the details about the property on here. So we found the details. We also determined the home value to be between 376 and 494. You can go ahead and pin those to the top. I wish, like Ryan said, they auto pinned. But that's something we can probably scope out.
Yeah, that's not a big deal, but it would be cool to just see it at a glance.
Yeah.
This is, I haven't seen it in a few months, but you've really evolved it. It's really cool. I'm almost ready to go buy it myself.
Well, we put a lot of time building it. And again, guys, the idea is not here just to push Core Messenger Bot. The idea is just kind of showing you that you can leverage Messenger bots out there to just have some simple tasks. Again, and maybe you're the agent that only has like so much traffic going to your website that you don't really see a necessity for this because you have time to manually add those leads. But if you're the agent that's like, hey, dude, I'm getting like 200 visits a day from people on my website, and I have a feeling we're going to be capturing 10 to 15, maybe even 20 people a day interacting with that messenger modal, we need to have all those leads go into KV Core. Core Messenger Bot's probably a perfect fit for you.
Yeah. So again, it rounds out your conversions. Can be used for direct lead generation if you get into driving traffic. I think you have a tutorial in Next Level I was mentioning about driving traffic into the bot.
Yeah, there's one in Next Level. I also just did an updated one in the discussion group. If anybody's part of that, I posted that to there this morning. So really, kind of now that I have this lead, I also have them subscribed inside of my ManyChat account as well. And even on my Facebook business page, you know, if I have anything like Core Video or Core Present, one of the cool things that this does with Core Present is it integrates because it'll grab my address and all I got to do is hit Core Present and it brings that data over automatically. So now I can build a CMA for this contact in less than 5 minutes and have it in their inbox, right? So I can go ahead and click skip to presentation, pulled in all my address, my information. Now I can go ahead and fire this off. And it's basically just making you more effective and efficient, right? So efficiency in such a busy market is key. You don't want to be spending a bunch of time behind a computer generating these reports or doing this, and this. And maybe you don't have an assistant or something like that who has the knowledge or the ability to go and generate those reports. This makes it simple. So you can just say, hey, go to Core Present, click build CMA and email that CMA over to the contact, right? And tell them I'll follow up. Or you can personally message them via Facebook, right? Because now I have all these messages in Facebook that I'll have the ability to now inside my inbox, just go essentially private message them, say, hey,
just start talking to people.
Yeah, I just tried calling you, Ryan. You didn't answer your phone. What's up? I know you're looking at your phone. Why aren't you?
Yeah.
Right. So just kind of another follow-up that you can do. You'll have all of that audience in here. You could drop videos. You could drop even probably some MP4 audio clips if you wanted to through Facebook Messenger. It's just a really kind of it's the next evolution of real estate kind of follow-up. And this is the direction that most agents are going to be going here soon.
Yeah. I just had an idea too. It would be cool. Once you have the bot installed, you could also send Smart Campaign emails and say, hey, curious about your home value. Go hit the chat at the bottom right. You can reference the bot in other areas to drive people through it.
Right. Yeah. So basically, what Ryan's saying is you will have the ability to just drive traffic directly to the Messenger bot itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other really cool thing, and this is kind of not a hidden feature that we have. Let me see if I can get Google Chrome to cooperate with me. The other thing, my screen's paused right now if you're wondering, but I'm just trying to open this. The other thing Core Messenger Bot has built into it is keywords. Keywords that you can utilize as what I'm calling comment to action. Essentially saying like, hey, want to know your home value? Comment on this post below. And what's going to happen is Core Messenger Bot is going to leverage your personal, or not your personal, but your business Facebook page. And it's going to message them down the journey of which they commented. So if somebody says, hey, I want to know what my home's worth, right? Your keyword is my home value. Comment my home value down below to get started. Core Messenger Bot will send them a message from your business page to kind of direct them down that seller journey, right? So they'll just get right out of the gate, hey, Ernest, just answer these few questions, and then it'll send what's your address, what's your city, what state, what zip code, and it'll take them down that journey directly from your Facebook post. So I can create a post here and have that comment to action in big, bold capitalization, words or capitalized words on my post with a nice engaging photo, and I can start getting some engagement on that actual post. The idea behind that too, Ryan, and you probably know a lot about this, is that the more people you have interact with your post, the more people that see it.
Yeah.
So if you're doing that, you're going to start reaching some of that organic audience that's like, oh, hey, Ryan's friends with Shane, or Ryan's friends with so-and-so, and now Shane's seeing it, and now this person's seeing it because Ryan liked it or Ryan commented on it. So you'll start reaching further out to an organic audience, doing things like that.
Yeah, awesome. So if you order the core messenger bot, do you get a link to use for that kind of thing, or a keyword? How does it?
So we build a slide out, or we have a slide built out for you guys. So once you sign up, we're going to send you a slide deck that basically outlines everything that Core Messenger Bot does.
Yeah.
It'll essentially have a personal link to your Core Messenger Bot. So if you were to ever share that link with someone, it would take them down to that first greeting message that has your photo or your logo. We also outline all the keywords. So like Core Messenger Buyer Bot right here, like our keywords currently are search alerts, buy, purchase, and find my home. You can use those as comment to action keywords in any of your Facebook posts. That'll then trigger Core Messenger Bot to send somebody down the buyer journey. Awesome. You could also use like my home value, what's my home worth, sell my home, or sell to trigger the seller journey from any of your social media posts, or I should say your Facebook posts. I got to be careful with social media because there's so many. But your Facebook post, it will send a message from your Facebook business page to take them down the seller journey.
Does Facebook let you run engagement ads, and then in the copy of the ads, do that call to action, or do they discourage that?
They kind of discourage it a little bit. If I was going to do something like that, I would probably just run Facebook messages, right? Run a consideration for messages and just drive them directly into either the seller or the buyer bot. When you create a Facebook messages ad, and I probably don't have enough time to do this here, but when you create it, you can have a frequently asked question set up as like a keyword so that it's a clickable tile. And when that keyword comes in, or when somebody clicks it, it comes in, it'll trigger Core Messenger Bot. So I could say like my frequently asked question, instead of a long paragraph, I would put like, what's my home worth? So that they see it pop up, they click on it, it then shoots them down into Core Messenger Bot.
Got it. Great, Ernest. Yeah, I actually need to be off in a few minutes prior to the top of the hour. Does anybody have any questions about messenger bots in general? Or are you all just over there playing around with ManyChat in another window?
Yeah, I think everybody's hitting up the demo page right now.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, guys, as always, just chat us in the Next Level Mastermind or chat support at KV Core, in the dashboard if you have any questions about the product in particular. But yeah, there's just a ton you can do this. And thanks, Ernest, for sharing what you got going on.
Yeah, no, not a problem. Anytime I get to share, I'm more than happy to, because I love this product. I love where it's going, and I feel more agents need to adopt it.
Yeah, definitely.
Adopt it while you're ahead.
Yeah. So guys, if there aren't any other questions, we'll call it a day. We'll be back Tuesday at the same time. Not sure what the topic will be. I'll get this replay up. The replay is actually instantly available on the YouTube channel, which is insiderealestate.com/YouTube. Definitely check us out in the Facebook group. And if you are interested in the Messenger Bot, it is there in the marketplace underneath leads. You can go check that out. I think you and I have a video there, or you did a video that's an overview as well.
Yeah, I did a video. Just so everyone's aware, I'm kind of messing around with some recruiting stuff as well. So if you're a team leader or brokerage leader and you want like a recruiting flow, I'm kind of tinkering a little bit with that to see what we can do if it's even engaged enough to have it on there. But there are some really cool things coming out with Core Messenger Bot that I'm pretty excited about. So
awesome. All right. Thanks, Ernest.
Yeah. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, everyone. You have a fantastic day.
All right. See you, everybody.